good evening, and welcome, everybody. It's Ukraine Update here on the Shills, and Lord Thunder and Jesus, we got Georgie from Ukraine Matters here with Operator Starsky. The world's coming to an end. You couldn't ask for anything more. So I'm going to hit the button, shut the fuck up, and turn it over to the boys for some headlines. Where's my damn button? What the hell? Hello? There it is.
Hello, Operator Starsky here. I'm very happy to see our Shills family today, as well as Georgie, my bro. And today we have some news. I think that this week we had a lot of good news, not only from Ukraine, but from places like Ankara, where Russian representative was destroyed and owned by the Ukrainian member of parliament who kicked his ass for attempting to steal the Ukrainian flag, because you don't do that or you will die. And one of the biggest news of today is that Russian terrorist and war criminal and propagandist Zakhar Prilepin was toasted, not completely, but partially, but still, he was toasted in Nizhny Novgorod, where his car exploded, killing his driver. And
was he still called Zakhar Prilepin?
Zakhar Prilepin, yeah.
I thought like everyone know that his actual name is Prokhor Zalupin.
Yeah. But he's more like known as Zakhar Prilepin. But as for Zalupin, I completely confirm this because this is true. And we know that he allegedly, it's not confirmed, but he allegedly lost his legs and allegedly lost his wiener. But again, it's not confirmed yet. Also today we learned that on 4th of May, during the terror Russian missile strike on Ukraine, our anti-air defense managed to shoot down the Ha-47 or X-47 Russian Kinjal hypersonic missile that has absolutely zero analogs, because you cannot find anything as shitty as that. And yesterday we talked about it, and yesterday spokesman for the anti-air defense of Ukraine couldn't confirm this fact, even though several agencies already reported that they analyzed the wreckage, the remains of the destroyed missile, and it obviously seemed like X-47 Kinjal. But today, after studying those remains, the chief of the Ukrainian Air Force confirmed that, yes, for the first time in history, Ukraine shot down the hypersonic Russian missile using the Patriot anti-air system provided to Ukraine by our allies and friends. And I think that my bro Georgie also has something to say today, so I'm passing my word to Georgie.
Oh yeah. Well, the first I want to follow up on this, because I actually was like holding up yesterday as I've heard the news that Kinjal was hit, because this was something that we've talked a lot on my channel with regards to, patriots now coming to Ukraine. And I was explaining that's like, so a lot of Russians are somewhat shitting themselves because of it, because patriots is just like a big boogeyman for Russians. And at that moment, a lot of people was like, well, are you stupid? Well, like come on, dude, like it's just a anti, like anti-air system. Like why would anyone be scared of it? I was like, well, the Russians are. And now we are actually seeing as patriots are delivering some democracy onto Russians with their unstoppable Kinjal. That was, as we more or less align all things, it was fired after the Kremlin was struck by a drone. So therefore, this means that the Kinjal was supposed to fly in somewhere in Kiev, and it was considered, if Kinjal is being fired, that we are striking the target where it flies. And well, it didn't. And supposedly it was somewhere in Kiev. Well, womp womp. I mean, like, we need a very, very small violin for this. I don't even. I'm not sure if I even have that small. But yeah.
Oh, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just. I'm getting used to it, so don't worry. Like, I'm trying to figure out. And from some other news, we hear some of the news being made up by Prigozhin, which is, I'm not sure if you know who he is. He's like a crossover between Shrek and some of those guys from the Fifth Element movie. So Prigozhin, so he was looking at some of his dead soldiers and then said, well, that's a pity. And it's interesting because, like, they've been killing all of these guys for the last, I don't know, like 8 months. Like all of the Wagners were pretty much already exterminated, and only now Prigozhin, like, as the slowest possible creature on the planet, realized that something is up. Like, maybe something is not working right. Well, at least he's posing it. So that's why a lot of kind of news media picked it up and said, "Oh wow, now Prigozhin is leaving Wagner and so on." And I think we're missing the whole picture here, that all of these things was happening already before, and the most important thing that he's doing right now is just trying to do some lip service to Putin and trying to improve his status and whatnot, and explain that it's not his fault that they didn't took Bakhmut in 8 months. Obviously, by the way, yeah, I still have a bet up with the whole of my community that Bakhmut will not gonna get abandoned. I called it, and I mean, it's the easiest bet of my life because Ukrainian army is too awesome to do that. So I mean, Starsky can tell you all about this.
And we were talking about it like several months ago, I believe, that Bakhmut will not fall.
Yeah. I called that one wrong too, because I remember asking Starsky about that, and he said no, Bakhmut will not. I was like, I talked to the guys, it'll be tough. You were like, it'll be hard, but it's not going to fall. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, that's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. That was insane.
I know, because my brigade is there. That's why.
Oh, Starsky. Well, if we judge by Prigozhin, soon your brigade will not exist, because, like, his recent follow-up video says that, he said that today was about 100 of his guys dead, and then he said that today we also killed 400 Ukrainians, and that was only dead Ukrainians. So I mean, it's a 1-to-4 ratio of one Wagner guy to 4 Ukrainians. So I mean, he wouldn't lie ever, right, about it. Like, he would never tell anything that is untrue.
Yeah, of course, everybody knows that Russians always say truth.
Well, unless their lips are moving, so.
Yeah. And we have another update this time from Italy, but before we review this update, there is another one. So this Prilepin or Zalupin that was toasted in Nizhny Novgorod today. So Russian newspaper called Komsomolskaya Pravda reported that and guys, this is Russian national media, okay? Like CNN, for example, in the US, or BBC in the UK. But it's a newspaper. So they report that obviously, and I'm sorry, but I'm swear I'm not fucking kidding. They reported that obviously the Jewish Masons decided to sacrifice Prilepin to celebrate. There was this event today in the UK with King Charles and his beautiful wife. And this Russian newspaper claims that it was a ritual ritualistic sacrifice to celebrate this event in the UK. So you can laugh until I'm talking about the next one, because in Italy there was this contest of like a musical contest, songs and things like that, between kids, between juniors. And the organizers of this event decided to make a Ukrainian singer. Her name is Sofia. She's 13 years old. 13, right? They decided to make her sing, not like together, but basically in the same period of time, with a Russian singer. And because Sophia knew that she could get in trouble, she attended all the rehearsals together with all other participants of this contest, and together with this Russian participant. And when she was invited to the stage to sing, instead of singing, she said a very, very impressive speech to the audience. She said that she is not gonna sing at the same stage with Russians who kill children in Ukraine or their representatives, because Russia is a terrorist state. And of course, she didn't win the contest, but she left, and she received massive applause. And she already won for Ukrainians. So, for those who say that like musical contests between kids, like, are you fucking insane? What it has to do with the war? My advice is to ask the same question to the parents of Bucha who lost their kids, and they will fucking explain you why it matters, because you cannot equalize Ukrainians who were invaded and Russians who invaded Ukraine. So I'm done.
That's actually the most heinous thing. That's actually that like really gets my blood boil the most. Like when I see just the inability to any kind of like understanding and just saying, I was like, oh, you just need to, hug and like make peace and whatnot. And I think that it's just like, I mean, it's on so many levels disrespects every single Ukrainian and what they're doing for to survive for this country, and disrespects the victims of this war. But more importantly, and I think that this kind of also disrespect the level of achievement that the defenders of Ukraine are making. And Dick, I believe you shared with me some kind of video from BBC yesterday, and it was exactly about this topic. It was basically, I'm not sure if it's out or not. Like you tell me right after I'm done. Is that it showed the reporter going out to like a small volunteer unit during the summer of last year, and how they were fighting and resisting Russians. Essentially, how slowly but surely the reporter of the BBC discovered that Ukraine is resisting this massive machine that is on paper supposedly should completely annihilate and crush Ukraine, and yet it's struggling to gain any kind of foothold and is just getting obliterated slowly but surely, and getting pushed back to the proper corner of the world where they belong.
Yeah, it's an excellent little documentary. It's about an hour long, and I have a shared link. I posted on a Mega, so anybody who wants to can grab a download of it. Just hit me up in a Shills Discord server. There's an invite in the description, I believe. If not, there's one flapping through the live chat because we got the stupid bot doing it. I am going to jump in here quick. We've got quite a few shout outs to do, so let's all get to know Claire really well as she catches us up.
Thank you for that. The first one goes to Wayne Dessain as a new member. Welcome to Shill Apprentice. After that, we have for £2 Ink Boy. At all, what will be your victory drink after the war?
The answer
Say-
is yes.
Yeah, all, right? Everything? Yeah. Oh,
Russian
uh,
tears mostly.
yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I wonder if that makes a dry martini. Yeah. From Lynn Stefanitz for 13.99 Canadian. A nice, lovely sticker that's the video game controller that turns into the big muscle version of itself, that takes over everything. So thank you for that, Lynn. From Rod Dorman for 16.12 Canadian for the Boom Boom Fun. Okay. Need From Needs address on YouTube for the drones, another 1925 Canadian for the Boom Boom Front. From Alf Holman, he has sent in 1790 US dollars. Note from Alf, support for Ukraine. Thank you, Alf. Hildegard Colmo has sent in 2573 Canadian. Drones for the Ukraine. We're getting a lot for the Boom Boom Fund today. Thank you very much, everyone. Yvonne Way, lemon character lifting the baby lemon in the air to congratulate him. There's another sticker. It's very cute. Thank you very much for your contribution, Yvonne. Robin Miller donated for the Boom Boom Fund. Slava Ukraine. May victory come soon to the Ukrainian people. NAFO will continue to support Ukraine. Sam W. donated $55 New Zealand through Super Chat. Thank you very much. Level 70, another 13.99. Gentlemen, any comments on propagandist Gonzalo Lira being finally arrested by the SBU? Glory, hallelujah.
Yeah, I would like to comment on this shortly. So, um, what Russians like to say is that Ukrainians, like Ukrainian Nazi, eliminated like all kinds of Russian-speaking population in Ukraine, like instantly. So the truth is, this bastard managed to live in Ukraine for more than a year, moving around freely and making his shitty videos, um, again for more than a year, and nobody gave a damn because because we have freedom of speech, unless this freedom of speech turns into propaganda of terrorism. So I'm very glad that he got busted. Georgie, maybe you have something to say.
Yeah, I mean, like his story is kind of crazy. Generally speaking, like, well, firstly, with regarding to Russian speakers in Ukraine, I believe on Twitter somewhere there was a post recently where some kind of reporter just walked through the center of Kiev and just noted like which language people are speaking, and obviously it was both Russian and Ukrainian, so it's a complete nonsense that is right there. And then, secondly, with regards to Gonzalo Lira. Well, the fact that he was like, and this is going to be a complete ad hominem. I'm going to bust his ass because he's not going to get to me in the next 8 years, hopefully. But just thinking that this guy was supposed to be some kind of a dating coach advisor is just completely, because like if you didn't know, he was supposedly this person that teaches some other people how to date women. But I don't know. Have you seen the picture where he has like this hair with like a Grinch setup on the top? It's hilarious. Then like there's like some shots from his like apartment where it's like completely like a toilet that is like full of garbage, like, and so on, and some books about Putin and whatnot. It's hilarious just in how much of ta- this chamber of delusion he and a lot of other people are. Well, I mean, it's very nice that he was able to say for so long and say it's like, okay, you are wrong, I am right, because I'm living in Kharkiv, so I know where everything what's happening here, and I'm glad that finally nice guys from the SBU will be able to explain that he was wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like Russians cannot have like normal propagandists. They always have to have like either like pedophiles like that Scott Ritter or whatever his last name is, or some fucking Grinch like it's crazy. They can't have like normal person, okay? But on the other hand, I understand why it happens because, like we're talking about KGB, and KGB
Mhm.
needs to have buttons they can always press.
I mean, it's not only propagandists. Like, do you remember this the poisoning of Skripals that happened in the UK? And then there was these guys, these
Yeah,
two what is KGB GRU agents, whatnot, and they're like, so we like went to the UK to see, and there's like quoting Wikipedia basically. So in Salisbury there is this tower which is 137 meters tall, and it's a very famous tower all across. It's like, what are you talking about? And then their defense was like, oh, it couldn't be us because we're gay, so that's why we were staying at the same room together.
Oh God.
and it's like this is the biggest failure of Russian secret services like ever, because those idiots were caught on every single CCTV in Salisbury, like walking around, watching stuff, then spraying that freaking Novichok and all that shit. And I believe Bashirov and don't remember the last name of the other one. Uh, but I enjoy the fact that we are fighting against fucking morons, because this is like probably the biggest advantage that we have so far.
There's this famous like a screenshot. Sorry, Claire. There's this famous screenshot from a guy that was on the front line and was giving interview in the first days of war, and basically was saying, he was like, we're so lucky that they're so fucking stupid. And I'm now taking it like every month. I'm just going to reposting on my community feed, because just a reminder, who is Ukraine dealing with? Sorry.
No apology necessary. That was wonderful. Oh, thank you. Oh, from Sam W. from New Zealand, another 22. Thank you. My message didn't post last time, so here it is. Lots of love to everyone except RSN PZD. Mm, I'm not. Does anyone know what the abbreviation is? But I get it. If she says we're not to be sending love to them, we're not sending love to them. Okay. From XAJJ Killers, welcome to new membership to Shill Apprentice. Jet 1115 has gifted 20 Shill Master memberships. Thank you very much, Jet. Godless Gomer, a member for 2 years. Victory to Ukraine, member message from David L. for a 20 to the drone fund. And from Michelle Ferguson, another 1999, a member for 1 month. Michelle, if there's a message on that, please add us in the chat. We'll add it next round. Another donation from Inkboy for £5. At Starsky, what do you feel when you hear someone non-Ukrainian calling Ukrainian army as our men or our side or our army?
I feel proud, and among like above all, I feel probably some kind of relief, because uh, currently Ukraine is fighting for democracy and for the free world. I think everybody understands this,
Yes.
and
Yeah, Ukraine is the front line for freedom right now, and everybody has to help.
yeah, absolutely, and everybody helps. Everybody does help. So it makes me really happy. I would say happy and relieved, because uh, this is something that is both tragic. I'm talking about war, but at the same time, it not only united Ukrainians here in Ukraine, but also people around the world, and it's beautiful because uh, nobody expected that people around the world can be so decent. and it's something that we should understand, that we underestimated ourselves big time.
As somebody wearing patchouli oil once, I'm sure, said, "There's a lot of love in the room, man."
Well said. Well said. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and
both.
Samantha says that she wrote Rusni Pizda, which means Russia is fucked.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good abbreviation. Thank you for that.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. We would all agree. And we have a very large donation from Mary Elaine Tyson, who has sent in 200 Canadian. Mary Elaine, if you have a message for that, please add us in the chat or send through, and we'll be adding that for the next one. And thank you for your donation. Cinnamon has sent in another $40 Canadian. Note from Cinnamon is for the Boom Boom Fund, Slava Ukraine. John LSA North Zedrin, 200 SEK. Hold on, what is it? I used to know with SEK. Is that not Swedish crowns? Is it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a Swedish kronos.
Yeah, there. Didn't forget
Yeah.
after all. So for 200 Swedish SEK, a little donation from Sweden and the north part of the LSA, Slava Ukrainian. From local,
Tacksväg.
yeah. From Locomotive, a new member, welcome to Shills Apprentice. And from Cats, a member of 6 months for 10 pounds, sends in the Shiba dog, squeezing a big red heart of love for everyone here. And from RCT, a new member, has also gifted another Shills membership to someone lucky enough to be a subscriber in the chat. Ed, I think we're caught up.
We
Whew.
are. There's
Thank
been
you.
I wanted to shout out Jets or Jets 115 has gifted 40 Shills members, if not more, in the last like 24 hours. Hats off to you.
Well
loved.
Yeah.
Starsky, time to take off your hat.
Okay, back to you guys. Thank you, everyone.
I wanted to turn to Georgie here, and so things start going off. Orcs are prepping for invasion, and they're coming. Your wife is Ukrainian, correct? The
True.
the feeling in the house and what led you to start doing the channel and stuff. You want to just give us a brief of how you ended up being here chatting with everybody on YouTube?
Well, it's because of Starsky mostly. Like he's got me going, because like my reaction was desperation and apathy, and a lot of really like the feeling that the world was kind of like coming apart. And it was during those days actually that when I saw Starsky's videos, he made them in Ukrainian back then. So, and there was like one famous when he and another guy was standing like in front of some kind of truck, and he's explaining that that Russians are still yet to experience a lot of hospitality that Ukrainians are going to offer them, to put it mildly. And and that's pretty much how it got me going. And from there, there were a couple of guys that asked me like, "Hey, Georgie, can you explain us what's happening in Ukraine?" Because like I'm a corporate guy, I'm a corporate rat, I'm a fat guy living in Denmark, like nothing too fancy. So the only difference for me was that our Danish news at the time didn't really catch up to the situation in Ukraine because it was changing so fast. And I was following basically live on the Telegram channels, on all of the live feeds and whatnot. And I was able to explain to a lot of the same dudes that have essentially 8 to 4, but let's say 9 to 5 jobs, 5 days a week, and they didn't really have time to figure out and catch up. So that's basically, that was how my channel started, and that's it. Like everything else is history. And now I'm just a guy yelling at camera, and people watch it, and some of them even are enjoying it. Others,
lots of us are,
not so
brother.
much.
Lots of us are. Absolutely. Now we We're already 41 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten to one viewer question because there's just so much on the go here. So I believe the lovely man himself, that gorgeous hunk of a gentleman, Dave, is ready for some viewer questions.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll certainly answer some questions anyway, or rather ask them. There's some wonderful one here that was very similar to what Claire was asking earlier from Tone. What do I answer to people that always answer, there are many more wars in the world, when I say I'm very into the Ukrainian war? That made sense.
That's a very weird way to put a question. If it's about the investment, like the emotional investment, I actually recently talked about the fact that a lot of us emotionally are invested in a war. That's the reason why we should take care of ourselves. So maybe in that sense that there is an emotional investment, and that's a big thanks to President Zelensky and how he was able to portray Ukraine on the international stage. Because
Absolutely.
to be honest, this person that asked this question is right. If this wouldn't get hit the news, if Zelensky wouldn't put up some ballsy statements and just be this guy, there's a lot of credit that goes into that, and obviously it was seconded and very, very seconded heavily by the Ukrainian people that stood up and actually resisted. Like those first videos of Ukrainians just throwing Molotov cocktails to the Russian vehicles driving by. Maybe it did not do a lot of damage to the vehicles themselves, but it did an incredible amount of support and just the underdog story, which a lot of people relate to. In that sense, yes, but otherwise
Very
this
much.
war is not different than any other war. It's just the optics and the ability to portray. Information is a huge thing in a war. That's one thing that we definitely learned. That's why Starsky plays such an important role, because he's an information officer.
And I would like to add something, but before I do it, I would like to ask Norm Lee, why were you Googling baby shark? Yeah, so the reason why we are so emotionally, the reason why everybody, okay, is so emotionally invested into this war is because it's very, very black and white, because there are invaders and there are invaded, because people who support Russian terrorism, they support it not because they love Russia. It's because they hate Ukraine, they hate West, they hate democratic values and everything that makes us friendly and open, civilized people. Okay, and people who support Ukraine, they do this because of empathy, because of their openness and friendliness and decency. So this war is very, very black and white. Even considering the propaganda spread across the world by Kremlin and all the fakes they produced. Again, people who support those fakes, they who accept those fakes as facts. They base their support of Russia on hate. Nothing good can be built on this. Nothing good will grow from this.
Exactly.
I
never
would-
get
I would-
sunflowers from hate. Dead orcs, the blood, that's good fertilizer, but not from the hate.
I would answer as well. Why should anyone have cared about the German invasion of Poland in 1939? Answer that question, and you know why we should care about Ukraine.
Good shout there. Yeah, a couple more from Dave here. Let's get the viewers in more.
Yeah, since I switched to Discord on desktop, I'm finding it much more tricky to sort of use the emojis. I'm a bit slower today, but that's fine.
Crap! Son of a!
was
Hold on.
Wait,
Oh,
I know.
Jesus.
Did you hear
Nick,
that? Did you hear that, Nick? Oh,
I thought we fixed it. No, my sound is still busted. I can hear Dave clearly. Can
he
we fix
started
that?
out so good. He was so humble, and even with all the praise from Dick, but
So anyway, more on the Dave show. Sorry if there was any background noise there. So,
Only your voice, buddy. Only your voice. Go ahead.
oh, sweet. I wasn't sure if I was coming through there. The connection's a bit messed up. So Starsky, we get a question every week, just to change the tone. How is Fitch?
So your favorite dog is fine. Currently, we moved a bit, and he has opportunity to sleep in my bed again, which makes him the happiest dog in the world. Probably I'll post some pictures in the nearest future. He's fine. He receives a lot of treats, and he's the happiest and the most protected and loved creature that you can imagine.
Oh.
I agree.
Awesome. Yeah.
In the
Definitely.
comments, someone said that I posted the announcement for the stream, and I used like one of the AI generated avatars, and for some reason the AI decided that I would look great wearing like a cowboy outfit, and I admit I look sexy as fuck
Well.
on this picture.
Mhm.
And someone in the commentaries said that now I need a horse. So I tried. We did some rehearsal with Fudge, but I gotta say that Fudge will reject this offer because he's too small.
Oh.
And I have a here's Futch with his favorite pet. I've got this. I'm trying to do a screen share. I don't know. I may need permission here.
It should come up.
I've got it, but let's see.
No?
No. Futch and his
God's
favorite
sakes.
pet. Let's try that. We'll try that one more time here. Share. Says I'm sharing.
Really? Because I have a
I'll
thing.
blend it.
Yeah, I have it all set up. I don't. For the love of God.
Don't
Okay,
worry.
hold on a second.
I can get it in a sec. I'll swap out my camera for the image. That's easy enough to do.
Oh,
That's what I had to
damn.
do
Okay.
last time.
Oh, I see what's going on. Something died. Okay, hold on a minute here.
Oh.
Here, let me reset. All right. I'll
Goats in the
set up
machine.
for Nick in the background in a second here. And what we could do is we're getting behind on shoutouts. Maybe we should turn to Claire here for a minute and get ourselves caught up.
Okay, we could do that. I think we all shall agree. Godless Gomer member for over 2 years sends us in £2 and states that he's extending his middle finger to Vladimir Putin. I'm sure many of us are also doing the same. Thank you, Godless. Yvonne Way, a new member. Pair character jumping up and down saying #1 fan. Thank you much for your support, Yvonne. 2567 Canadian from Little Kid Kickins 2 for the Boom Boom Fund. Thank you very much. Andrew Knight for £5. Ukrainians are all our brothers and sisters. A well said sentiment we can all agree with. Al Berry for $1.99. Thank you for sending in your donation. Wayne the Sign again, new member for 20. God bless all supporters of Ukraine. Nadav Ben Shlomo has sent in 7133 Canadian for the Boom Boom Fund. Thank you very much, Nadav. 870 says Swiss Miss for the Shiba dog rolling on the floor sticker, laughing out loud, which is the laughing one. Thank you very much for your donation. From Cheryl Watley, a member, 1999. No regrets in sending it in for the Boom Boom Fund. Thank you very much. Godless Gomer again for £2. Chuck Norris fears Zelensky. As you should. As you should. Thank you very much, Godless. From Taja Ritali has sent in 140.32 Canadian for the fundraising. Thank you very much. Chris Lunde donated another 20 Canadian. Looking forward to Antilia holding a concert in Yalta, Crimea in Ukraine on August 23rd of 2024. The future is bright. And I cannot read this translation, but it's in Ukraine. Hold, I'll have to get back on that one, but I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't understand. Thank you very much. I'm sure it's
Some of
something
those,
very,
yeah.
very positive, though. Manuela Alte for 1414 Canadian. Thank you very much for your donation. Heinrich Barty for 70. Google is not my friend today, Dick. I'm sorry. But I usually have all the translations and everything down, but this is South African. This is South African rands, actually. Hold on 1 second. So from
Don't make me say it.
yes, yeah. No, don't say. Don't. That I should know because that's where my accent comes from. That's okay. I'll say it for you. Heinrich Barty for 70 South African rands. If you guys get Anna, Denis, and Arthur on with Georgie and Starsky, you'll form the Ukrainian Voltron. Great show, Slavic Ukrainian from Cape Town Oblast. Thank you very much, Heinrich. Thank you. And for
That's a good idea.
it is. It is. I kind of like that idea. I think this is just that is a fantastic idea for the Voltron. Colin Butrad says for 20 Canadian. Thank you very much for your donation. Mark Garcia has sent in 1283. Sport question for Dick. Hey
Oh
Dick.
God.
Yeah, ready? Hey
Yeah.
Dick. Is it true that you switched from bowling to sex because the balls are lighter and you don't have to wear special shoes?
Okay, who told? I thought for sure that was posted in in a trusted environment. Somebody leaked. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Now I know we got a snitch, Mark. Way to go.
Thank you. The only thing better than that was as if DK actually read that one for me. that would have been great. Thank you very much, Mark. Try to compose myself. From Raven 7 donated 60 Canadian. Thank you for G for starting a movement from nothing. We in the Ukraine love you all. AFU boom the MF and break the back of RF, I believe. Thank you, Shills, and much love to Dick for piloting the Falcon. Wow. What a lovely sentiment, and we're all behind that one. Thank you much, Raven.
Oh yes.
Do you want me to grab that last
Yes.
one that just
Yes.
popped up? From level 70 for 27.99 Canadian. Question for Dave. Do all Brits have giant bladders? I'm impressed how everyone sat through that entire coronation ceremony without a bathroom break, especially Charles, who's over 70.
I actually can address that. When you're in the presence of Charles, you must wear a catheter just to make sure that you fit in and don't make him feel like he's standing out. So that's how it works.
I don't know. Do you want to take that, Dave? Or...
Yeah, and there was a commentary in the chat. I'm sorry I missed the nickname. Unfortunately, the only bad thing about getting older is like ear hair, but on the other hand, when you're growing older, you're getting colder. Okay, I mean you always feel cold. I can tell. And basically, when you grow hair on your ears, it makes you feel a bit warmer, especially when you're bald. You can brush you can brush your you can comb your hair on your ears like upwards, okay, and it will be like warmer.
So this is what Gonzalo Lira did?
Obviously.
Okay.
Oh. Oh man. So I
mean,
don't even know where to go
looking-
right now.
I mean, looking at Gonzalo, you start understanding that the dude wanted at least something to be erected on his body, you know, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I think I caught up. Holy, I'm juggling a few different screens to make sure we get all the notifications and alerts and everything done, right? So I'm on the edge of sanity here. Let's see. We should probably get Dave to get a few more viewer questions in, and then all hell will break loose with Claire and some shout outs again and whatnot. And we'll see if by the end of all of that anything makes any fucking sense to anyone.
Sweet. I was going to ask about the coronation because I remember months and months ago when the Queen passed away, we paid homage to her service within the military, and you said some very nice things. I guess the question this time should be on the day in which we as Brits celebrate our heritage, traditions. What do Ukrainians, or what does Ukraine take from the ceremony, if anything at all?
This is something that makes you British. I mean, we have to have traditions to remain ourselves. In Ukraine, we have our traditions. If you ask what makes Ukrainians Ukrainians, basically it's love for the good food, criticizing our government, but not like in other countries. Sometimes we do revolutions. It's this internal anarchy, I would say, not in the bad meaning, because this is the way we lived. It's like we love to sing a lot. We sing all the time, like in the shower, in the toilet. I do it often. And did I mention food?
Oh yeah.
So and we do like we grow bread. I mean, we make bread, and that's what we love to do. We like to have our land where we can grow some yummy stuff, and we wish to be safe so nobody invades us. That's what makes Ukrainians Ukrainians. As for like criticizing government, currently we all trust and support Zelensky. After the war is finished, oh my god! So like it always happens, because this is Ukraine. And if you ask yourself what makes you a citizen of the UK, basically you can name a lot of things that are specific only to you. Tea, for example. British Empire was built on tea.
Well, trading opium for tea, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's hard to think of what actually is original from Britain, or what wasn't stolen. Dick?
Yeah, I also not heard about talking about British Empire. It was really good.
Come on, I mean, Celtic culture. You have some kick-ass songs. You have Cockney, guys. You have Cockney, and Cockney is something that you have to preserve and share because it's awesome. And you have like football hooligans, and this culture that was born, and like a lot of things that were brought to the world from the UK. And the same thing with other countries. Every country is beautiful except for Russia, because fuck Russia.
So basically the question is, what do you as Ukrainians take from our hooliganism? How does it inspire you? Do you you feel like?
So, you know why Putin is called Huilo? The dick
No?
head.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's because Ukrainian hooligans made this song, and they sang this song in 2014, and it instantly became a top hit in Ukraine, and later it spread outside. So it was made by the football hooligans from Kharkiv, I believe.
I want to second William on something from the chat that Britain's greatest contribution to the class music is Motorhead. And I approve of that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Beatles, bro. Motorhead too, of
And
course.
with that, we've lost the stream. Dick is now. What, do you want to just start your lecture? Do you just leave?
Yeah.
Or just leave?
I did want to point something out about Russian culture. I'm going to disagree slightly. Russians do have some beautiful cultural elements, but just to put this in context, most Americans don't understand that the what is it, St. Basil's Cathedral isn't the Kremlin. People see the cathedral and like, oh, that's the Kremlin. No, that's outside the Kremlin. That's in Red Square, but it's the most famous and iconic piece of Russian architecture. It's this church that the Russians had commissioned, and it was I forgot his name, Posnik Yarkovo, who actually made it. And the Russians did what they tend to do when somebody makes something beautiful in Russia. They cut out his eyes so he could never make anything so beautiful again. That is Russian culture in a nutshell.
I think I agree, but
uplifting.
Sorry, Nick.
No, it's just like I know I come in with the uplifting part. They cut out his eyes. Isn't that great? But yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Kind of
What
puts
were you
it
gonna
in
say?
perspective.
No, I agree
So-
with that Russia might have some culture, but I think like Russia is one of the only few states that actually tries to really mix the soft and the hard power together, that really weaponize the cultural aspects of themselves. And I think that's what makes it heinous in a sense of like feels very, very dirty, because Russia and Putin and everyone else, the current regime, is abusing culture that was produced before modern Russia and that the current ruling party has absolutely no thing to do with. And they're weaponizing that and they're using that. So now, even if some person is trying to enjoy Russian culture, it's a very, very bad thing to do, because it's very quickly resonates with people who are following with a lot of aggression and a lot of dead children, which is only for Putin's to blame. So let's add the fact that Russian culture now is being cancelled, if I can put it this way, to another to that pot of what Putin did wrong.
That's actually an excellent point. I don't think they've made any cultural contributions to their own culture in the last 50 or 75 years. And B, I think that's an excellent point. They've weaponized their own culture such that there's no difference between the propaganda and the culture. There's no way to tell where one begins and the other ends. That's a very interesting point, I think.
And returning to the previous topic regarding our singer in Italy, actually, I reconsidered what I said, because I have nothing against like hugging with Russians, but before doing that, Russians must say this magic phrase: "I'm fucking sorry for what my country does to your people. I'm fucking sorry for everything that happened in Bucha and Izium and in Kherson, and I'm really, really sorry, and I'm ashamed of our people stealing and kidnapping your people and your kids. And only after that I will think like, should I do it? But before they usually they don't do that. Usually they are trying to stick to Ukrainians and hug or make a selfie, like on that beauty contest last year. because they want to have this hype sort of. Russians don't have anything against like hugging with Ukrainians because it makes them feel sort of supreme.
All right, I got to
Yeah.
go, folks. But before I go, I wanted to put this up. So here we have our personal favorite guest, Fuch, and Fuch's pet operator, Starsky. So that's
I
Good
like
one,
that.
buddy. Good one.
yeah,
He
Glad
ate
you
my
could join
pet.
us, Nick.
nice,
Nice meeting.
nice to see you all. Nice to meet you, Georgie. Bye.
Take it easy, buddy. All right. Let's see here. I'll make his little circle go away. And we're good to go. All right. Should we get a little bit caught up here? We've got some shout outs we can do there, Claire.
Okay. From
Sure.
Michael sends in from New Zealand, 555 for the Boom Boom Fund. Thank you, Michael. Rainer Robel has sent in 7071 Canadian for the Boom Boom Fund. Thank you very much. Peter Hansen has sent another donation of 707 Canadian. Marshall Bones' War and Tactic report that Russia propagandists leave Medipol. No more flags and propaganda of the Moscovites seeable. Have you? That means they left, Starsky. They have left Medipol.
Can I pick it up? Because
Yes,
I actually
Georgie.
this was on my
Okay.
thing. So Starsky, like it's a kind of discussion question, I guess, for you as well. So we've seen that Russian propagandists, some kind of like a couple of weeks ago, they were mostly talking that Ukrainian counteroffensive is never going to happen. It's not going to be there. It's never happening, and so on and so on. I'm pretty sure you saw some of those comments, either your videos or whatnot, or anywhere on YouTube. To be honest, they're atrocious. But more importantly, in kind of recent week and a half, we've seen that like everything just changed. Pretty much all majority of the Russian propaganda channels and our Russian propagandists have taken a completely different narrative. A narrative is everything is bad, everything is falling apart, all of our lines are collapsing, everything else. And I'm for the fact know that while Ukrainians are doing some certain operations, it is nothing that even comes close to what is basically described as, I don't know, weeping or like screaming their lungs out. So do you have any kind of guesses on what that might be with? Because I feel that this message that the person addressed, that it was, I believe, Katyonak that posted it on his Telegram, saying that like, oh my God, Ukrainians are already taking some villages around Melitopol, which is like so far from the front lines. It's like, no, it's impossible. It's just factually impossible.
The answer is very easy. So Kremlin produces topics for the Russian media to discuss, to make public. Basically, they produce those topics and disseminate them among Russian agencies, probably like every week. And one of the things, like we know for sure, because those topics are sent to the editors of like newspapers or news portals directly, and of course, because they are not top secret, we know about those topics. And recently, they were told to those editors not to underestimate the results of this upcoming counteroffensive, not to underestimate the possible success of this counteroffensive. Why they decided to switch their narratives is probably because they realized that they will not be able to. And again, those topics, they are created in Kremlin. I think they might be supervised by Putin himself. And Putin realizes that he will lose control over several territories, at least. and I think he already even understand what sort of territories will be lost, that will be liberated by the Ukrainian defenders. So this way they are preparing their audience for the future defeat.
Mhm. That makes it much clearer. Thank you very much. Thank you, both of you. Oh. Grant Computer has sent in 32 and 9 cents Canadian. There's no message, Grant. If you would like one, please add us in the chat. We'll add it next round. From Commander 401, member of the year, a $2 donation in this saying, growing old is easy, growing up is hard. I concur. Thank you, Commander 401. From Terence Costa, a $10 donation. Slava Ukrainian, no questions. This is my first time watching. Welcome, Terence Costa. From Rick Sanchez, a new member, donating to the Boom Boom Fund. Thank you very much. John L.S. North Zedrin again for 50 Swedish krone, just to keep you going until I'm back from throwing the kids in bed for the night. Thank you very much, John. Thank you for your donation. From David L. 420, Drone Front, because I don't have PayPal. Thank you for your donation. We are caught up for now. Thank you very much.
All right.
I have a
Cool.
question, if you let me. I have a question to my bro Georgie. What's your opinion on the Russian dude and Russia Inside?
You mean the inside Russia?
Yep.
I mean, people have a lot of opinions on who they are, and this is the war that I have within my community, right? I have a lot of issues with Russians in general. Like it's just certain thing that I feel very hard talking with them, especially when they're interacting. I'm always afraid to an extent that I can trust it. Like I can start saying, okay, this guy is understandable, because I followed a lot of Russian liberals over my life, like a lot of the pro-democratic, all of these types and so on. And they were saying a lot of really good things. And the problem is that in the moment, it always feels right. Like it always feels that this guy is for real. Like this guy is the shit. Like this guy is never gonna go up. And then something happens, and it's like, oh, wow, he's actually full of shit. So I'm not suggesting that inside Russia or the Russian dude or any other Russian commentators that are supporting Ukraine don't have it fully in their hearts. I'm just saying that I had bad experiences, and right now I am not ready to, until the war is over, until Ukraine is secured, to start building any kind of connection or relationship with Russians, just because we've seen how, like, a lot of these Russian liberals like flip-flop on the aspects of Crimea. We've seen a lot of these good, nice supporters of Russia just at some point, they actually say that we're only with Ukraine until the first corner, until Putin is out, and then we're going to build our Russian empire as well. There are very, very, very few that I have been following for like years, even decades, that are consistent. So basically, I don't have a completely negative opinion. I know that they are supposedly supporting Ukraine, but I haven't dig deep. And to be honest, like, I don't really feel that it's the time or the place to try, for me especially, to sort who is the good Russian, who is the bad. Like, I want Russians to sort that out for themselves, and then they figure it out. And I want all Russia to be good at some point. But until that happens,
yeah, it's just sometimes you feel like they're not necessarily in support of Ukraine. They're just anti the war because it's negative effects on Russia.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, the reason
Well
I
said,
asked
Shit,
is
I made a good point.
yeah, you did. The reason I asked is because people are asking like what's my opinion, what's your opinion about those bloggers, and of course, if they support Ukrainian armed forces or Ukrainian civilians with their funds, that with the fundraisers. I can respect that, but at the same time, I don't really feel like digging into this. Like, are they okay or not? For some reason, I'm not really watching Russian blogs. When shit hit the fan in Ukraine in 2013, when our Revolution of Dignity started, not a lot of my friends ran away from Ukraine, even though we were proclaimed as terrorists, and police was given an order to kill us, literally. Um, and we fought, and we were losing friends, and we were uh, losing our health there, sometimes lives. Then, when the war started in 2014, then the big war in 2022, again, there were people who ran away, but those people are very, very much despised here in Ukraine. I'm talking about healthy men who can fight and who don't have to care for like disabled relatives abroad or things like that. Healthy men who can fight, because we're talking about our survival. That's why I can respect Russians who support Ukraine, but at the same time, those who, like, there was this young blogger, I don't remember his name already. There were several of them, and at some point I was scrolling YouTube, and all I saw was those titles saying, "I left Russia, I left Russia, I left Russia, I left Russia," and I'm like, holy fuck, who's gonna change your country instead of you?
This
guys,
Starsky is to me the main point. You got to stand up and do something in your own zone, right?
Yeah, like, I don't understand people who ran away from Russia as like, neither as a military nor as a former activist at Maidan. I don't understand this. But those who support Ukraine, yes, I can totally respect that, because respect is something, because support is something that we need right now, and probably they are okay. Not like I'm personally gonna be big fan of of those guys. Again, for some reason, I like, probably it's something psychological. I don't really feel like being their fan. The same time, I can respect what they do. But at the same time, I completely agree with Georgie, because I had a lot of such cases that he described back in my days. Um I still have several friends in Russia. I do. But what makes them special is basically they say, I hope my fucking country dies for what it does, because, like, it's hopeless.
Well, that leads to a question a few people have been asking. Do you think that this could result in some real breakup in Russia? Like, how many pieces do you think it could end up becoming? Any opinions?
A lot of them, because probably, Georgia, you also saw that map of those different beautiful regions and republics
Yeah.
waiting for the
I mean,
chance.
it's gonna yeah, it's gonna depend on how much pieces Budanov is gonna slice up. That's how many regions. It's because, like, I don't really believe that there is a lot of, like, like national movements in Russia yet. There might be oligarchic movements, but then again, like, trusting Russians to do anything right is kind of a little bit of a, like, Like, can they do it? Because so far it's been kind of a shit show. So I trust that Budanov will be able to slice it up the way he sees it a lot better than any Russian will.
Yeah. There is a commentary that those people didn't want, and this person is talking about those bloggers. This person doesn't. They didn't want to get arrested and sent to the front lines and stuff. Honestly, I hate being sent to the front lines myself. Honestly, I really hate standing in the crowd of people facing armed riot policemen and knowing that probably I will have my arms broken or legs or arrested or like kidnapped. And by the way, there was one attempt of kidnapping me in 2014 in January.
Wow.
So I really hate that. I really hate when I'm being shelled. Currently in Ukraine, we have an air raid because there are Tu-22 bombers flying over Caspian, and we also know that 4 vessels are currently on patrol in the Black Sea, and the total number of missiles that can be fired tonight on Ukraine is approximately 32 missiles. So the point is, I hate this very much. I hate again when we are hit with missiles. I hate when Russians shoot at me. Okay, and I hated shooting Russians as well. Not like let's say, not like I hate it now, but I don't enjoy it because there's nothing beautiful in the war. But we have to do it, otherwise we will die. So a lot of my friends, they hate this shit. They hated being beaten up on Maidan, being beat up on Maidan by police. They hated being shot at. They hated being shelled, and all kinds of stuff. Ukrainians are very peaceful people. So, you know, being sent to the front lines, being arrested, yes, it's something like something very inconvenient. Okay, sometimes it's bad for your health, I can confirm. But at the same time, if you want to change your country, you have to fucking sacrifice something.
Yeah.
Have you thought about writing Putin a really stern letter to say stop it? And by the way, Starsky, you can't say Ukrainians are peaceful people because I've heard your music.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say, though, Starsky. I mean, you know, if you didn't have to be doing all those things you don't like, that you actually hate being a part of, wouldn't life be great? Ukraine would be free. You'd be making music. We could have drunken hangouts and blah, blah. And oh, gosh, you know, just.
Yeah, absolutely. The worst part about this war is not like specifically for me, is not like even being shelled or bombed or whatever. It's like I cannot go outside, meet people, meet friends, have a cold one or two, you know, get wasted with you and Georgie, for example.
Yeah, I can't wait until we can do a live stream when we're in the same goddamn room hosting a drink, buddy. Jeez, this is going to be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Can I address something? Like my blood is boiling.
Please.
I'm gonna explode right here, right now. All right. So, like people posted to me in the chat, and it's like, Georgie, but Zach protested in Russia. It's like, good for him. But let's talk about the subject of protests in Russia and whatnot. You know, because protests in Russia has a very specific thing, because that goes very strong with Russian opposition in general. Because Russian opposition have created this amazing, beautiful world where or a story or like a fairy tale rather, where in which they could go in the authoritarian regime, stand up, yell at the police, throw up some posters in the air, call Putin some names, and that will change exactly what, and the problem with that is that a lot of people across the world and in the West and everywhere just bought into that story. Like, we've seen Russia, where the regime and Putin was step by step taking away the rights, the freedoms of the Russians inside of Russia, because Russia didn't end up as this warmongering totalitarian regime suddenly. Like, it didn't happen overnight. It was happening over decades. And Russian opposition were there. They were doing exactly the same shit that they were doing in 2000, I don't know, 2, 3, as they were doing 2005, as they were doing 2008, 2012. And over this period of time, first they were just listened to, then they were restricted to certain areas, then they were beaten up, some of them, then they were taken to prisons, then they were starting to be suppressed with special like tear gas and whatnot. And now they are a lot of them are now facing prison sentences for life. Their leaders are being poisoned with deadliest agents known to man. And what are they doing? They are taking the same fucking posters, coming out to streets and saying, "No to war! No to war!" Bullshit. Bullshit. If a person is saying to me, "Oh yeah, but that person protested in Russia," or there was a Russian opposition that protested in Russia, that has nothing to do with resisting the regime. That has nothing to do with resisting the regime at all. Because what the only thing that it shows is they have no fucking clue where they are, that they have no contact to reality the same way Putin does. And that they don't understand that the world and the society and the regime that they're living in is completely already gone. The train already left. And they're the one that's standing in the train station and just saying, "Oh, well, the train is about to come." And everyone is just saying, "No, it's already left." It's like, no, like, it's about to come. How do you know? Well, my watch has stopped, so it still shows 3 minutes. It's like, yeah. So good for Zach that he protested. Good man. Complete dog shit of what the effect, because the effects of the Russian opposition and what they achieved is negative.
I love this guy. I love you, Georgie. You got to come around here more often, brother. Holy shit, you got goods.
At the same time, Katz, right, Russian oppositioner, he says, we will not use the experience of Ukrainian activists. We will not use this experience. We will do it our way because we know better. Ukraine had 2 revolutions that actually worked. And they worked both times. We removed the corrupted pro-Russian Fox, and first revolution worked. They had like a retaliation. Second revolution again worked. They were removed, and we kind of know better. And we can advise something, but at the same time, this liberal oppositioner again, who ran away from Russia, he stops when talks about Ukraine start. Okay, and what else I wanted to say? So why Russians protest but receive no result from this? I talked about it earlier. It's because you cannot protest in the country that despises democracy. You cannot use democratic approach like in any other country, like in Germany or France, because it doesn't work in a country ruled by fucking totalitarian regime. And that's why they will bring no results whatsoever. Again, sometimes you have to fucking sacrifice something.
Yeah. it's the argument that people are making for me is like, well, but Putin now is gonna just put them in jail and just close them up, like if they start protesting. And it's like you completely miss the point that I'm making. Like the protesting now, and as you said, Starsky, using democratic tools is obviously not gonna work. That's like the only thing that I'm hoping for is that at some point this understanding will come, and it still isn't there. Like people still like, oh yeah, but if they protest, they get arrested. Don't protest. Go blow up some, I don't know, rail tracks. Like we've seen some of it. Like I have huge respects to, by the way, Russians that I have no names of, but are going around blowing up rail tracks. Fucking Chads.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I have a lot of respect for Russians who are currently fighting in the Russian Liberation Battalion here in Ukraine against Russian invaders. Those are heroes. I completely respect them because what they do brings results, brings some actual results.
We should turn it over to Claire because Lord Thunder and Jesus, do we have a few shout outs to do? Holy shit.
Yes, very much keeping me busy, keeping us all very busy up here today. And I just want to say, Georgie, I absolutely agree with what you said about protesting and stuff. It's war now. It's kind of a little late for
Yes.
that kind of interaction. Oh, from Tone Odyssey, a member for 2 months. Thank you very much. Shula Prentice. Slava Ukraine forever. Thank you very much. Nurse Sean for $4.99. What do you think the contribution of Ukrainian music to the war effort? The Muscovy music is terrible in my in my opinion. Glory to Ukraine.
I think this contribution is huge because, for example, currently when I'm driving, I'm listening to like different radio stations. One of my favorites is Kiss FM, and they have all kinds of kick-ass electronic music, and it's freaking awesome. It's motivating. And of course, every war, despite being a tragedy, but every war brings something new in terms of cultural life and music, of course, movies, of course. As for Russians, no, later. Ukrainians are making a lot of songs together with other artists from all around the world. Recently, I was so freaking impressed when I learned that Scorpions changed their most famous song, "Wind of Change."
Wow.
Yeah, I like. We were talking with my friend Ferlane the other day, and we were talking about those Scorpions, and I was like, I wonder what they feel now when they see this shit. And she was like, didn't you know? Take a look at this. And she showed me the video of their concert with the new lyrics
Yeah.
for this song.
Close and the boys are awesome, man. They
Wow.
fixed it. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like respect, big respect. So as for the Russians, again, their culture is weaponized. Several years ago, I was analyzing a bunch of Russian artists, some like young popular artists. There was this very famous band called Little Big. They positioned themselves as sorta Russian liberals. But at the same time, when you see their videos, they show this subtle like nostalgia for like Soviet Union and shit. This dude walks down the street, and then he walks into this Russian gastronome or whatever, and there is this very Soviet-looking woman that is selling him vodka, and he goes, this freaking nostalgia for Soviet Union must be eliminated. It must be wiped of the face of the earth, because like there was nothing beautiful about Soviet Union for everybody else except Russians, because countries were occupied and people were basically repressed for their identity, okay,
Mhm.
for their nationality. If you're Ukrainian, they would be laughing at you if you're speaking Ukrainian language, because like you're underhuman, you're a lower race. And same was with everybody else. um, and that's why this nostalgia for Soviet Union is like it's used as a weapon in Russia, because nobody loves Soviet Union as much as Russians, unfortunately. And when we're talking about modern countries that exist on the post-Soviet space, there are Ukrainians who love Ukraine. Okay, there are Belarusians who love Belarus, for example. But there are Russians who love Soviet Union because this made them feel as, supreme beings,
Big. Yeah.
conquerors. Um, it's a piece of shit. There was this. I forgot his name. Just a second. Is this like Stiletto? Yeah. No. Stiletto. Fuck. I forgot this. I forgot his name. So there's one very very popular in Russia dude. Basically, he's copy pasted from like young Justin Timberlake. Completely 100%, again, because Russians never created anything original. And or Justin, rather, yeah, like Timberlake. So there's a bunch of images in his music videos. In one of those music videos, he's posing as a Spetsnaz guy with AK shooting hearts. He shoots like hearts from his AK. And like when you start analyzing everything Russians do, like every Russian music video, every Russian book, for example, or anything like that, you will always find a lot of symbols. And those symbols are placed there not coincidentally. They're placed there on purpose, because um, a lot of people probably don't know about it, but there's numerous institutions that specifically study such thing as information warfare in Russia, and that exist there for probably a century. That's why all kinds of their cultural products, all kinds of their videos, music videos, I'm not even mentioning their freaking media. Everything is full of different symbols that you will not always notice, but if you analyze those videos, you will definitely find them. We had several trainings with our press officers here in Ukraine. Not only with press officers, there were different communications persons, and we were analyzing like random videos produced by Russians, like music videos. And oh my God, there are so many things, my eyes opened that day.
Thank you for that. Oh, wow. Niels Eldon, new member, gifted 5 Shills memberships. Thank you, Niels. From Raman Padron, has sent in 64.17 Canadian. No message, but if you have one, please add us in the chat and we'll add it the next round. Walker Scott has sent in 25.65 Canadian. W for Ukraine. Yes, thank you. And Colonel Mark LSA has sent in $1,125 total Canadian for the drones and says, I hope this helps a little bit, Starsky. Wow. That's amazing.
What
That's really
an
nice.
absolutely fantastic donation to the fund. Thank you so much. Hashtag boom boom baby. Oh yeah.
Mhm. Wow. From Killer Rabbit of Serbanog for 5, Starsky. It's been 80 years since Germany invaded Ukraine and committed atrocities. How does the average Ukrainian feel about Germans today?
So until 2022, we also celebrated. No, until I believe 2018. 2018.
18, yeah. If you're looking
Uh,
about the 8th of May.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
also celebrated the 8th of May as a victory day. We had this tradition because here in Ukraine, again, a lot of Ukrainians know about those atrocities. And of course, a lot of our grandparents, including mine, were liberating Ukraine, and they were fighting also in Germany during that counteroffensive. Uh, so yeah, we remember about that. Of course, a lot of Jewish people were executed here in Ukraine as well, which is a horrible tragedy. Of course, not only Ukrainians, gypsies. Uh, I'm like 20 something percent gypsy myself. Um, so yeah, we still remember that genetically, I would say. Uh, but at the same time, we understand that we gotta do everything to make sure that nothing like that will ever happen again. Um, for that reason, I believe we did a lot of things to improve our relations with Germany, with Poland, by the way, because we have a lot of very, very bad history uh, that we should always remember, and we should always make sure that it will never repeat. Uh, and I think that we are successful, big time, because from what we see, we are allies, and they support us a lot. And for example, Poland supported Ukraine yet since the times of Revolution of Dignity, and they were among first people, together with Baltic countries, that supported Ukraine when Russia invaded in 2014, when they annexed Crimea and invaded Donbass. Um, so it gives me hope that we can share the same pain, that we can ask for apology each other, and that we can make sure that that shit will never happen again.
Thank you. And thank you for the question, the donation, and that was very informative, Starsky. Thank you. And from Nurse Sean, rather, for $4.99, a statement. These are some effective there are some effective protests in Moscovia. They are burning buildings and derailing trains. They must be done in secret if they want to protest again. I can imagine they would. Thank you. Miriam Ward for 55 New Zealand. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you very much. In a lovely purple heart. From David L., another 10. Operator Starsky, can I find your band's music on YouTube? And what is the name of your band?
It's Operator Starsky Music,
Okay.
but there's like 2 or 3 songs. I have
Okay.
like 4 songs on SoundCloud.
Mhm.
And I'm doing everything to increase this number, because you don't know it, but yesterday I bought like a keyboard,
Ooh,
and it will improve my song making big time.
that's wonderful. And that Operator Starsky's YouTube channel, correct?
It's Operator Starsky Music. It's a separate channel.
It's a separate YouTube channel. Okay, great. Thank you. And again, from Colonel Mark, LSA, he has sent another $1,200 Canadian for your drone fund. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
I don't
Uh,
know what to say. That is amazing. And the drones are so necessary in one of the best ways to get immediate, um, I, w- I don't know, Starsky, would you say tactical things, that something that can be used immediately over there? And that's so appreciative. I don't really know.
I said in the chat that basically, Mark, you basically got your name written on a drone now. And
yes.
he replied, "I'd
Mhm.
rather have Starsky's name on it." So no doxing on the drones, please.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't have your name just keyed into Starsky. We can't offer that. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, we can
Mark,
we can make
Starsky's
sure
gonna get a tattoo.
we can make sure to put your name on a drone, definitely. And thank you so much for your support. Every time after the Shills show, I receive a call from this charity foundation, and they're like, "What were you doing?" I'm like, "Why?" Like, I received like $3,000.
Wait till the day, buddy. This is
Yes.
going off
Yeah,
the charts
I
crazy.
I want to see their reaction tomorrow.
Mhm.
And another thing, they were supporting different units on the front lines, but currently, because my guys were brought to, let's say, they were already in the ass, okay, deployed like in the ass, but they got deployed deeper in the ass. Uh, so currently, this foundation will be helping only my brigade. So all your funds will go directly to support my brigade.
And wow, are we sending some freaking funds today, fellow babies?
Oh,
Mew cats are awesome.
me too.
I don't even have words. This is absolutely phenomenal.
It
Dear
is.
Lord.
And we'll continue. They just keep coming in. They just keep coming in. From T Kanji, $9.99 for the Boom Fund again. From Secular Sakai, new member for £5. Didn't know you had Roma relatives, Starsky. Do any of them speak Romania?
They should have. Because as for my gypsy relatives, I know that they probably were like Balkan gypsies, because my great grandpa had last name Starenko,
Mhm.
Starenko, something like that. I believe that mm, in that language, in that part of the world, it means something like grandma or something like this. Uh, so I believe that they should have know the language.
All right, thank you. It's very interesting to add to the Starsky file. From Crazy Cat, £10. Boom, boom, baby. Respect to Colonel Mark LSA. You rock, bro. And I can agree with that sentiment, as many of us. Cinnamon has sent in $50 Canadian. No communication, just love for Ukraine. Thank you very much. Another message from Secular Sakai, new member. Do you think that after the war, Legion, Svoboda, and the NRA, Russian one, not the gun club, could work with Icarin Chechens to disrupt the Kremlin? Could they become owls who hunt bats? Slava Ukraine.
I really hope so. So optimistically, they will use their experience and the number of their personnel to remove their political regimes, and I really want to see Chechen Republic of Ichkeria liberated finally. I really want to see those beautiful people who currently fight for Ukraine who came from European countries where they had their shelter to fight in Ukraine. I really want to see them returning back home and liberating their land in Chechen Republic of Ichkeria. Optimistically, we will see that. Pessimistically, when the war ends, those people will receive shelter in Ukraine. And if it happens, we will do everything so they would feel at home in Ukraine.
Yeah, I want to add to this. I looked into the subject about like who are the Legion of Russia, who are the Republican Army, and who are the basically the Ichkerian Chechen fighters that are fighting on Ukrainian side. And as much as like the rosy optimistic image does appear, I want to a little bit break into this because they have very, very different ideologies with very different goals that will conflict how Russia should be developing after the victory of Ukraine. So I would have it like I would see it as hard to believe that they would work together to a common goal. As much as I would love that to be in an optimistic Starsky's vision, but they're so different. And they're conflicting, unfortunately.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah, one thing about Russian oppositioners is even though they all criticize Putin, but they don't do that because majority of them don't do that because they support Ukraine so much. Is because they want to take his place. And very interesting thing is that they understand that they will have to pay reparations. That's why even though they can protest against Putin and etc., but they will never support Ukraine because they understand that paying the reparations is the only way for Russia to get rid of sanctions. So they understand that it's sort of checkmate for Russia in the nearest future. Whatever they do, they will have to pay reparations. And you can imagine what kind of money we're talking about, because Ukraine already requires billions in order to rebuild our cities. And of course, no money in the world can bring back the people that died.
exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Russian opposition does not necessarily support Ukraine. I know several oppositioners from Russia who understand this, and they say that there is a way to pay out those reparations. For example, give Ukraine the control over several oil sources, gas sources in Russia, which is, I believe, is totally acceptable. But the rest of them, I would not bet on those people.
Oh, thank you both for that.
I mean, there is one thing, Starsky. I mean, not being too crass about it, but after the war is finished, there's just going to have to be a lot of sex to build up the population again. Are you on board with that?
Yeah. So the problem is there, like, there will be there is already a lot of sex. I mean, it's not a problem. Why I called it a problem?
I'm not just talking about amongst your troops.
Okay, so back to the donations. Okay, we received a payment of $51 from Angelica Baya. And if you have a message to go along with that, please add us in the chat. from Tyler.
Oh, I can add a follow-up to that. She is a follower of us on Ko-Fi now, and I didn't even know you could be a follower on that. And it said that we can talk in some feed to people. So hey, I'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll do that. Cool.
Oh,
I had
well-
no idea.
Well, thank you, Angelica. That means that you've actually educated us a little bit there with your donation. So thank you very much. Tyler Dowdy has sent in $19.99 for the Boom Boom Fund. Sharon Tikowski, $49.99 of a lovely pair characters sticker riding the firework rocket disappearing away, bursting into the sky, like a very powerful one. Thank you for that. From Watt for Norwegian Krone 100. Slava Ukraini, thank you very much. From Tone Odyssey, member of 2 months, for another 100 Norwegian krone for whatever you want, Starsky. Kelvin Kwok has sent in $6.42 Canadian for the Boom Boom Fund. This is for victims of Malaysia Airline MH17. Thank you. Carson Larimore has sent in $10, asking Russian society to become a true democratic nation is like asking a stone to become water. Best thing for this country is to dissolve. But what would happen to the nuke supply? Very good. That's a good question. For that guy, thank you for $20 donation. The more they destroy, the deeper in debt they are. Killer Rabbit of Kerbana has sent in another $5. Starsky, sorry for the depressing question. My relatives fought on both sides in World War II. I apologize for their actions if they were in Ukraine. Thank you for the sentiment, Killer Rabbit.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
Thanks to everybody.
we are caught up.
Yeah, and we're getting close on time. I'm hoping Starsky's got a few extra minutes here and we can go a little bit longer than normal. Not much, but of course, the fellow babies around here, they know what's coming. Some of you people that have come over to join us for the show to, join in with Georgie and everybody, this might be new to you, but it's one of our favorite things to do. Oh, where's the thing? What the hell happened? Where's the video? Ah!
First of all, I would like to thank Killer Rabbit, and I would like to say that you should not apologize because luckily we all made a very, very good lesson from World War II, and majority of people, not all of them, but majority of people around the world will understand what I'm talking about. And I would also like to say big thanks to people who donated today. You are amazing. Those money are going directly to the Vatra Foundation that support my brigade. I don't receive anything from that, of course, because you don't want to wake up to a news in the newspaper saying that a famous Ukrainian blogger turned out to be a corruptioneer. I'm not that kind of people. And
turns up to the front line in a Porsche.
So thank you so much for your support. It's very, very important for us. Again, I think that those guys in the charity foundation, tomorrow they will be impressed. And what else? So there's baby time, right? Someone in the chat said that I was blushy when DKG asked me about sex. Guys, I'm not blushy. It's my red microphone. You see, I live alone for more than a year. Luckily, because prior to this invasion, I got divorced, and even despite it was a very tragic year, but it was the most peaceful year in my life in the past 10 years.
And Starsky, they can go back and watch some of the other shows we did. There's some of the earlier ones where you just didn't stop talking about sex. Sex. That's all you're talking about.
Again, I spent more than a year living alone, and so as for the baby boom, I already contributed to this, so I did my part. So the baby story, it's a tough one because again, my life was very, very boring, and I don't have much to to remember, unfortunately. I need like 5 minutes, okay?
Okay. Well, here, I'm going to see if I can get the.
Georgie, can you save me again, please?
Sure,
Yeah.
any time. But like, what's the concept? I'm a little bit confused because I didn't even see the thing.
Yeah, I'm
It
going
was
to try
not
to
even
hit
the
it
thing.
again and see if it happens for you here. But the idea is that at some point in the show, I just spring it on him and he's got to tell a tale from his youth, right? Don't worry,
Okay.
I'll do it to you the next time you're on too. Let's see if it works. See, again, no video. I don't understand why it won't do it.
I do hear
Let me
the
see if.
baby's gurgling,
Yeah.
though. I hear the gurgling, the little Starsky gurgle there.
Here, let me try. Let me try this one to see if it works. Just 1 second here. Because I mean, it's too like I want Georgie's got to get to see it, right? Let me do this again. No, fuck. Okay, I give up. I don't know.
I think without the visual, they should still have to tell the baby stories, both of them. I would love to hear a Georgie baby story too.
Yeah,
How
Dick,
old do we get? Like, what's the border for a baby?
Dick. So next time you gotta make this intro for like Georgie with beard. Like
the baby
Yeah.
with the beard.
that would work.
Here, let me try one more way to do this. That's the video that you're supposed to see.
You can have one, but not the other.
That's the door. Now you're scared, Georgie, aren't you? There's going to be one of you next week. Oh my gosh!
I mean, it's great.
And that picture you see, Baby Starsky, you can head over to our merch store and there's Baby Starsky t-shirts and so on and whatnot. And again, all the proceeds go right over to his brigade. So get them while you can, everybody.
So I think I was like 14 years old. And I had this best friend from my yard, and we decided to get drunk because back in those days you could buy like all kinds of stuff in the grocery store, like bottle of vodka. Like parents would send their kids to the grocery store to buy beer, for example. It was like that. Unfortunately, it's different now. But and Dick is like, yeah, sort of. So we decided to get drunk, and because we didn't have a lot of money, we decided to buy a big 0.5 liter bottle of rum cola. I'm not sure if you have that in your country. But it was sort of popular, like junk drink in Ukraine, and I never had alcohol, like never in my life before I was 14. Neither my friend did. So we took that bottle of cola, we hid in the park, and we drank it, and it's like we were drinking it and we were like, I feel so drunk, and my bro was like, yeah, me too. And then in like 30 minutes we finished that bottle, and I'm like, holy shit, like I'm so drunk, like my parents will totally recognize me being drunk when I'm home. And my bro is like, yeah, me too. And like we were completely sober because it's freaking rum cola. There's like 0.2% alcohol or something like that. I mean, like Coca-Cola contains more alcohol than that. Yeah, so that was a kind of funny experience. Nothing special, really. I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare today.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. I mean, I sprung it late on the show too, but I wanted to make sure Georgie got to see, and then it all fell apart. Isn't that just the way, man?
Yeah.
Georgie got us. Georgie got to tell us his story.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't have a good one, as I was also not preparing. But um, I don't know. So like when I was younger, I had a really good friend, and we were listening, like, you know, it's like cursing and a lot of this, like, at least like when I was growing up, it was like a big no. But there were like a couple of bands that we were listening to that were using a lot of these cursing lyrics. So, and one of the things that would we do is like essentially like little punks that we are when we're like what 6 7 years old, is when the parents finally get out, we would listen to this music. So the problem is that one time we were listening to this music and we decided to listen to this music on a balcony, and we were like, yeah, like, you know, like, yeah, this music rocks, like complete ass. And then some neighbor comes by, is like, well, what the fuck are you doing there, guys? It's like, why are you listening to this shit? Well, I'm gonna tell everyone now. And I think that was one of the first moments of the sheer oh shit moments in my life. I think that at least I can remember, because at that moment I felt that everything is gonna be falling apart. Like, obviously, I got like, I don't know, like as a punishment, my ear really pushed, like pulled a lot, like I got really red ears for a while from my parents, because I was they were told that we were listening to all of these naughty songs.
Oh,
So as a story of unprepared myself, so I guess that would be the one.
I think that was great for being unprepared. Thank you for sharing.
Indeed. And that is part of the gag. You're kind of not supposed to be too prepared, right? But you do need to at least know it's coming. Oh, that
I
was good. We've
remember.
got. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah,
Just
I
was
remember
gonna
we
say-
had like.
sorry, very, very quickly, Starsky. There's a t-shirt, or well, that's a sweatshirt, but there he is. There's the baby Starsky. Go get it in the store. I'm going to post the link in the chat. Over to you, Starsky.
Good one.
Yeah, so I remember we were celebrating this new year, and it was hilarious. We were like teenagers, but you know, like older teenagers already. And we had this dude. So if you had opportunity to see like South Park, there was Cartman, okay, and we all have friends like that, and we all hate them because like they're hateful and hilarious at the same time. And we had this friend. He was always trolling us, always. That's why we always wanted to kill him. And so they gathered at my friend's, at his apartment, and they were drinking, of course. And the grandma of that friend, she was like in the country house that time, celebrating with the other part of the family. And she was very, very religious. You know, she never drank alcohol and stuff. That's why they destroyed, because they were drunk and stupid, they destroyed this glass where she kept her artificial teeth, okay. And they took another glass, put her teeth inside, and filled the glass with vodka. And so this Cartman, okay, I remember it clearly because it was so freaking hilarious. He was like, he was drinking vodka, and like usually if you drink vodka, you have to either drink it together with like juice or something, because vodka tastes bad. It like, you don't taste vodka because it doesn't taste it. It's a freaking spirit. I don't know. But if you want to get drunk, and it's the most affordable and most like fastest way to get drunk, then of course you have to drink vodka with some like juice or, oh my god, I'm teaching internet people how to drink vodka.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're thinking, Starsky.
Oh my god, my commander will kill me. But anyways, or you have to eat something. Okay, this dude was like just sniffing his sleeve. Okay, and he was like this: I can drink a bottle I can drink 2 bottles, but I will never puke. And it was insane, but yeah, but he did, and he went to sleep. He went to sleep in the toilet, like hugging the toilet, and we even made a picture of that, and we showed it like all around the school.
Typical.
It's actually very, very comfortable sleeping in the next to the cuddling at the toilet.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's my students. Like when I was living in a like a student apartment, I was studying. So we had the student apartment, and for some reason, we had heated floors in the toilet. So there was some times when I was coming home really, really drunk, and I didn't feel well. Sometimes it felt very cozy to sleep on the warm floor inside of the toilet.
Oh, that's awesome. That's funny. Oh man, does Claire have some shout outs to do? We better get right to her.
Okay. Oh gosh, let me get back. Oh goodness. Okay, so starting again with Aussie Tea for another Australian 10 for the Boom Boom Fund. And then from Research Flat Moon, another $25 donation. Gloria Rocco, another 10 with another sticker, the pear character, rolling on the floor, laughing and laughing. And then again from Colonel Mark, LSA. I'm giving another 5,000 Canadian because it's for Starsky's brigade.
What? No, didn't it say 500? Can we double check?
I reading 5,000.
Really?
I am reading 5,000
Oh my
written
Yeah, you're
by
not-
Yeah.
Mark by Colonel Mark himself. If that's
Dear
a
Lord,
typo,
you're not wrong.
If that's a typo, you can tell me now, Mark. Colonel
Never
Mark,
mind a
but
drone. Never mind a drone. We're going to buy him a Challenger tank.
no, there are no words. But I'm sure that Starsky's brigade is going to be able to use that greatly, and amazingly appreciative all of us for you honoring them that way.
Basically, we
I'm
can
just
buy
proud.
a used Apache helicopter.
Yeah, I was just
There you
how much is an F-16?
Yes.
And how much does it cost to get it gift wrapped?
Exactly. What a bow. What a freaking bow on that one. From Mr. E-Man for 10 Australian. Another sticker, the Shiba dog shaking his hips and saying thank you. And I'm sure that thank you goes for many of us here. Unbelievable. For Johan Van Zanten, they have sent in 1403 for the Boom Boom Fund again. Great Southern Land for another 10 Australian. It's not a lot. I hope it helps. Every bit helps. All of you, every bit helps. Thank you. From 877 Swiss Miss for 5. Just huge thanks to Mark. Wow. Yes. That sentiment is repeated, I think, from all of us right now. Secular Sakai has donated another $26.96 for the Boom Boom Fund and states that in Texas, the Texas Nationalist Movement is a far-right secession group. They are slowly and quietly becoming a political force of moderate size. They also may have ties to Kremlin money. How can the U.S. better stop Russian interference? Very good question. I've thought this myself, Secular Sakai. Thank you for asking. Any thoughts, Georgie or Starsky?
First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to Colonel Mark. It's very generous. Um, as for the question, well, first of all, you have to do something with Russian propaganda because those people um, get their information, get their shape their opinion, right, based on the Russian propaganda. So you have to do something about it. And again, we're talking about this topic of how to combat Russian propaganda at the same time without violating like freedom of speech and freedom of thought. I think specialists have to do something about it because I'm not a specialist, and we are witnessing this incredible period of time when democracy is being exploited this way by Russians. So yeah, that's the thing. Anyways, there are always 10% of people that are very, very like good and friendly and open and like best people in the world. At the same time, according to statistics, there's always 10% of people that will justify Nazis and support Russian terrorism, and it's natural. This is the way we were created. This is the way evolution works, and statistics. So in one of my videos, I described the possible events that you can possibly witness if this hybrid warfare starts in your country. Maybe it will help you, but again, it's a very, very difficult topic, and I cannot squeeze everything into like 10 minutes of a single video. So
I
yeah.
can. I can.
Georgie, yeah.
Yeah, of course I can. It's easy as pie. Well, firstly, I'm not sure you can influence inside of US, like from my perspective, especially because I think that tolerant society should not tolerate intolerance. That's just the rule, and but that's not the philosophy that US is adhering for, because US is adhering. Everyone can speak everything and do everything. We just have checks and balances when it matters. So the hope is to hope that checks and balances would work, and that's pretty much it. But the kind of, to shorten it up to within 10 minutes of discussion, what you can do is you can support Ukraine in this fight, because as the great ancient Greek philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, that Russia cannot interfere in your elections if there is no Russia. That's it.
It's valid.
I always thought that Nietzsche was a genius. I'm just kidding. Also, you know, as Jesus Christ once mentioned in his Twitter, "Don't quote me, please."
It's like, I was not prepared. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but generally, I completely agree with Georgie. You can support Ukraine, and I'm sure that if you already do that, you will continue doing that. So the only possible way to combat the intolerance in the tolerant society is a bigger and stronger and more united tolerant group of people. This is how we managed to win during the Revolution of Dignity, because we were united and there were more of us than them.
Well, thank you. Oh. We've received another $51 from Angelica Bayer. Miles Vardy has sent in $100 Canadian for more drones. Anders Clausen has sent 169 Danish krone and tells us to drink cider. and with an apple. Oh, John LSA North Zedrin for Swedish crowns 50 for the Crimea Beach Party Fund. Okay. And from that guy, you know you're hooked when whatever you are drinking tastes nasty, but you don't care. Thank you for your donation and your comment. That guy. From Robin for 20. Thank you, Mark LSA. Go LSA, LSA. From Tone Odyssey, a member of 2 months, for 500 Norwegian krone. From an orc hunter to another, sure you'll use them well. From Agneta Fredrickson for 6204 Canadian for the Boom Boom Fund. And another message from that guy for another $20 donation. The only effective way to deal with lies is to show people the truth. Very well said.
Good words. Good words.
Miles Vardy has sent in another $100 Canadian. Note from Miles Vardy, quote, more drones, Slava Ukraine. R. Dorman has sent in another 1612. Note from him is also, it doesn't say, but I believe it's for the drone fund, the same as above. More drones, Slava Ukraine. And on that, for the moment, we are caught up.
I am happy to say that this show alone will be sending a minimum of $3,000 over to Starsky's unit. And that's right after the show from the direct donations. And then when, what the hell is it called? Google AdSense pays out, there's another 1,000 on top of that minimum.
Wow.
Yes. So that's $4,000 directly to Starsky's brigade coming up. Not well, with a little pause in there because of AdSense in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I can't express how blown away and unbelievable it feels to be a part of this. You are the best viewers on YouTube.
Thank you so much to all the donators. It's guys, you are awesome. I highly appreciate what you're doing.
Just to get things wrapped up, I'll take this here, Claire. Secular Sakai donated another $135 directly into the fund. My pockets aren't as deep as Mark's at the moment. I'm not sure many people's are, Secular. But go get a kick-ass paint job for one of your drones, Starsky. Absolutely. And Secular, your contributions around here are legendary and well noted and remembered. Thank you. Thank you. We are a little bit past our normal time. I didn't want to just impose here on Captain Starsky, no less, but we're getting tight on time, brother. How you feeling?
I'm okay. How's Georgia?
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm pretty good. Like, actually, I think the audience here is really amazing. I'm very blessed that I was able to participate, actually. Or keep going if you want.
We will be inviting you over quite a bit more, Georgie. I mean, we run a pretty fast-paced show. Things just keep coming at you, and not everybody can catch our style and fit right in. But man, you belong at this table. It's been a pleasure having you. This is awesome. So, Georgie, why don't you take it?
He will have to do the proper, it's like initiation ceremony. And he's got to wear, that outfit and, do the thing.
Okay, get the get the Madonna bra. Get the Madonna bra. I'm sure it'll fit on his head. But Georgie, let's turn it to you here as it pertains to viewer the viewer reaction when news comes out, both good and bad. I mean, you've really built yourself a pretty good thing here on YouTube. As you were building it up, was it a little overwhelming to take in this kind of response from people? Like this whole thing where the war is being played out on social media for people to participate is a pretty new thing in life, and it's blowing me away what can be done doing this.
Yeah, definitely. Though I'm not sure if I'm the right person to speak because I'm just getting into it. Like when I started my channel and so on, like, media was not my profile. I'm like a data nerd, like, the guy that's just like not really public or anything. So for me, like, just suddenly, like, I have like these tens, like then hundreds of people watching, and there's like saying, and I was like, okay, wow. Because I was just hoping that, like, if I can get like additional 10-15 bucks from the channel when I went, like, to that, turned on that, how do you say, the AdSense and whatnot, then I can just send them to Ukraine. And that was for the big part it is. And I think the biggest kind of reality check for me, like that thing are actually going seriously, was during the New Year stream, when we were able to gather up, I believe it was over 13,500 during the Christmas
Woo!
event, when we got, yeah, for the Ukrainian Charity Foundation, which was something like completely mind-blowing, because I've said, like, I believe first amount was like I was thinking at 700, but I ended up putting at 1,000, so we went like 13 times over that. And so since then, I'm still struggling catching up. I believe the YouTube thing is developing faster than I can assess it, and so on, like. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a guy on YouTube. I don't really ever saw myself that I can contribute with anything, but I believe that the community has been so generous to me that everyone has been like literally pulling me up, rather than me trying to, be drive this channel and whatnot. I believe it's the channel that's driving me, to be honest, sometimes. So I feel
Well,
that now we
the
have the chance
algorithm
to
is
actually
really
do.
Yeah, the algorithm has really picked up on you. So I understand what you're saying, chasing the channel, because it must feel like it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now I just hope to do more. I mean, if me talking and interacting with people, coming to these events and so on, can generate more support for Ukraine, that's amazing. I would love to do more of that.
Good words. Good words. Let's check with Claire for a couple of shout outs, and then I want to get to Dave for a few more viewer questions before we are forced to start thinking about a wrap up. So Claire's turn.
Okay, we have a couple here from our very own DKG Custom member for a few pounds. Fuck it. Yep, that's the message.
I don't
And
like that guy. I think you should block him.
Yeah, I know. He just likes to get me to say that on YouTube, amongst other things. But yeah. Anyway, from that guy, a new member, welcome to Shills Apprentice. Thank you. For Secular Sakai, a new member, for a donation of $5. One final question for Starsky. And I've often wanted to ask you this myself. Any advice for healing after a really toxic relationship?
Yeah, and that is something that I missed during our stream with the professor the other day. So, first advice: run for your life. If you're
Okay.
still in this relation, like, run for your life, or you will die.
Okay, so that's it. Get out now. That's
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just the beginning. But yeah, like, run. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And like, I don't really want to to share my personal experience here, because it took me 10 years. But again, this year that passed, when this big war in Ukraine started, uh, it was partially one of the peaceful years of my life, because I met it as a free person, like, without apartment, without half of my budget and stuff, but free. Dobby is free. So first advice is run. Don't ask yourself whether you should do it. Just freaking run. Another thing, we will talk about gigolos later. So
wait.
another,
Did you just say we would talk about gigolos later?
yeah, because
Okay.
there was a question in the
Oh, okay.
in the chat.
Okay.
So another thing, if you're in the narcissistic relationship, the narcissists do everything to make sure that people outside your family, okay,
Mhm.
they don't know about the hell you're going through. Everything will look perfect to those people. That's why it's very hard if you keep everything inside and you have nobody to talk to about it. You gotta find people who will listen to you. If you can do it with your friends, do it with your friends, at least several people. You can pay somebody to listen to you, but you have to talk about it to somebody. That's very important, because if you keep it inside, it will destroy you. I know, because I serve in the army, I know several cases of guys who lost their internal battle with their internal demons, and they died. So you should not lose this battle, because it's a battle that you can win, definitely, if you have people that will listen to you. It's very important. And also, you have to do something that brings you joy. You have to award yourself with something. Like I awarded myself with pizza today, and chicken strips, and you can do something that brings you joy. Again, it's very important, because if you feel completely depressed day after day, uh, without awarding yourself with something, it will destroy you. It's bad. You should avoid it. So it's like, friends, do something that brings you joy. Play video games. Do like cycling, or drive your car. Go to gym. Gym is highly advised, of course. The reason why we are like lifting weights in the gym is because it's not because we want to look big and bulky. It's because we want to be stronger than our demons here in this place. Um, so those are the advices. Eventually, because time heals everything, eventually you will feel better, and you will start enjoying your life. At the same time, if there is like a depression, or functional depression, then you gotta find help, because it's not something that you can cure yourself. It's not something that your friends can help you with. Depression is something that you don't choose. That's why you gotta find qualified help. um, Again, nothing bad about it. It's something that you should do in order to survive, because it can end very, very bad. Okay.
Yes.
I hope I was helpful. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a former NCO. That's why I know some shit about it.
Starsky, you are currently in amongst my my actual depression group therapy people here right now. So
Yeah.
I would say thank you for that, Starsky, because speaking from the personal experience that you do, that is valid information for everyone. They're not
No,
alone.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I was divorced. My life was full of shit and crazy events. It's not like I want to share my experience. Please don't listen to my experience. But those advices are based on uh, communicating with people who know shit about it, with our military psychologists and several other people who went through this, and they shared their experience as well. So this may help, because it helped me.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. Yes. We received 14.99 Australian with a Shiba dog squeezing a big heart sticker, and I think the message is more the name of the account. Putin will hang in the middle of the Kremlin.
I love that username.
And from Warren Jacobs.
they only put him up the right way up yesterday.
Okay. Thank you for your donation, Warren Jacobs, for 44.92 Canadian. No message, but if there is one, please add us in the chat. And a member message, Sheila Prentice from Benny Verhoeven. A huge amount of hearts, flags, thumbs up, and OKs for everyone. And it looks like a couple of beers to pass around. Or Secular Sakai, also again sending in another $10 donation. Yes, they were definitely a narcissist, Starsky, I would say, or at least similar to one. Thank you, the Shills and Starsky. Much appreciated, guys. Slava Ukrainian and Heroyam Slava. That guy, another new member, another $10 donation. We are a tripod, body, mind, and spirit. We should develop each so they are all strong.
Good
Very well
words.
said. Very well said, that guy. And
Yeah.
we are caught up. Back to you.
Oh, well, let's go right over to Dave with some questions before we get too late and we eventually do have to shut her down because I know there's got to be a bunch at this point. We haven't been able to get to enough tonight. It's been absolutely crazy.
Yeah, just as you sort of tempt fate and tell me we should wind down, I'm going to ask a question that should only be asked at 2 a.m. while stoned off your tits in some student dorm somewhere. K-Dog is asking, how many countries do you think Russia will split into in the future? That's an hour.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk
Yeah,
about this?
I need
It's
a Yeah, we did. We did bring this up. I think what we need is a
Yeah.
map and a pair of scissors, right? We could just,
Yeah.
make ourselves a nice little collage of scrap
This is
paper.
like one of 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle of the world.
Or a cake.
A cake, yes.
I like
Yes,
cake.
Russia cake. Yeah. But it's not very nice.
It'd
Made
be
from
like,
potatoes and vodka.
yeah. No.
Was the
Okay,
question
well,
on the
we'll just one sec, Dave. We'll just say 50 there. Okay.
That works.
Moss Shark was the one that asked the story about the gigolo. Have we answered that? Are we moving on? Brandon insists. Apparently. I could ask a different question as well.
So Brandon is trying to think like a manager, actually, and I think he's very successful as a manager. So we already made a business plan, and it will involve me and Brandon and Max and Pasha and Fuch, of course, because Fuch is, you don't imagine Gigolo business without Fuch. He's very important piece of this puzzle. But let's talk about it after the war because, I live alone for almost a year.
Epic. I can't remember who asked about Max and Sasha.
It was in Brandon's video. They were walking around Bakhmut, and then there was this Lada car, and Brandon was like, "How do you call this car?" And Pasha is like, "Zhiguli," and Brandon is like, "Oh, sounds like Gigolo." And then he started all this. This is how the idea was born.
I saw it. It was awesome. It was funny as hell.
Yeah, I guess it's not going to be a secret or something, but Brandon is going to come over basically in a week or so, drop by my place. So I can catch him up on that.
Awesome.
Warm up the toilet.
There was one a while ago from Lirandra who asked, can the Shills adopt Georgie into the regular cast, please?
We could definitely be persuaded to ask Georgie to join us weekly. Holy shit, yeah. The idea has already been thought of too. Great question.
Yeah, we can use all kinds of tools available. We can bribe Georgie, we can blackmail Georgie, we can do some kind of AI generated shit about Georgie to blackmail him, and I will do that. I promise.
Hey, Starsky, don't worry about it. I've already screen grabbed enough images from him tonight, so we can actually generate our own AI version of him.
Oh, great. Let's make a PC farm so it generates faster.
Legit serious question. Can we do that? Can we just make
Yeah.
our own AI? It's your job, DK. I'm not doing it. But you've got to try and just feed
Okay.
it with as many Shills streams as possible, and then it'll just come up, just churn out like this.
Yeah,
You know-
just
you know
make
something-
AI generated streams where they
Yeah,
just
you know
bump
what?
into each other.
I did actually talk to Dick about this a while back when AI was just going off the charts, and I was just saying, well, we could write scripts that just use Chat GPT that go into the avatars
Yep.
and use voice text to speech, and just like set it off and just have it running 24/7 with people in the chat, just like driving the questions to the avatars in the chat.
Oh,
And I thought it would be hilarious. It'd be stupid as fuck. But it turns out there are actually people already doing this.
I was
Yes.
going to say, isn't there a channel out there doing that already?
Yes,
Like,
me.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm doing this. There are some corrections sometimes in some of the videos that I did, and I needed to substitute the voice, and I actually generated by AI my voice to substitute some of the phrases that I said to the corrections. So, and people, no one noticed so
Wow.
far.
This is awesome.
But great. But actually, friends, it's amazing because I remember 2008. We were at the communications meeting in the World Bank in Washington D.C., listening to Professor Clay Shirky, who was talking about social media back in 2008, like before Facebook even became popular, and he was saying like social media nowadays turn into like press, into like media, and we were like, no shit. And he's like, yeah, so for example, there's some natural disaster, okay. I believe it was in Indonesia or something like that. There was a big flood, and he's like, so there's a guy, and he makes a picture, and then he posts it in his social media, and people read this article like 5 minutes after this event happened, and we were like, no way, like it's yeah. And he's like, yeah, this is how like social media 2.0 work. And like social media, like web 3.0, it will be about social media creating content instead of creators. And we were like, that's a bullshit, it will never happen, like come on. And boom, now you have Chat GPT, and now you have like neural networks and everything.
It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah, that's.
And they'll do that, and it will do it better than us. That's the sad thing.
I already posted a story generated by the neural network about how Gonzalo Lira was captured in Kharkiv. I posted it yesterday, and it generated about him like reading some Shakespeare or reciting some Shakespeare while doing some push-ups. And when the SBU came in, so he's tried to more guests for the play or something like that.
Oh man. Oh, we have okay. I'm almost sore from laughing. Holy shit, guys. This has been fun as hell. We should get ourselves close to wrap up mode. So let's turn to Claire for a few more shout outs, and then we'll just, get a few thoughts and wrap ups. And, at the end, maybe we'll see if we can't con Georgie into joining us next week and start a tradition.
Yeah, we do have a couple more from Sarah Ann Jones, who sent in of 515 Canadian for the Boom Boom Fun, Jonesy. Okay, and from Flash One, another Australian 20. Great show, guys, with a clapping mark. Glory to Ukraine from Australia. Thank you very much from Flashy. And from our Colonel Mark, LSA again, sending in another $20 donation. Good work, guys and gals. Never tire of supporting Ukraine, as they are the frontline soldiers for defending us all. Very well said, Mark. Thank you very much.
Yeah, huge thanks to you, Mark. Wow.
Well, we are caught up. And just want to say thank you, Starsky and Georgie and DK and Dave and Dick. This has been a very entertaining stream. And sorry
yeah.
that my laughs have been bothering. Like just I can't repress them when you guys are goofing off like that. But
Stop having fun, Claire.
I can't help it.
This
I
is a
really believe.
serious
I know. I
conversation.
seriously support this stream, and I research like all the topics and everything, and I actually believe in this very much. But when you guys get going, I just can't help it. But you push my giggle button. That's it. I'm done for the night. Like I'm done.
Oh, there'll be comments after after the video's gone out. There'll be
Yeah.
people
Okay.
going and they say, "Oh, how dare you make Starsky laugh? You know how serious this situation is."
We have.
We know.
Yeah,
We know.
we've had those comments, and
Mhm.
wow, did our viewers jump down their throat quick? We didn't have to say a damn thing.
guys, I know that it's been like we are streaming for 3 hours already, but we missed some very, very important topic. We didn't talk about food today. So
Oh, please.
I talked to this girl today, and she said that I was eating too much fast food, and I was like, "What kind of fast food are you talking about?" She's like, "Pizza. You're eating like second pizza this week," and I'm like, "Pizza is not a fast food." She's like, "It is," and I'm like, "How about pizza in the Italian restaurant? Is that a fast food? Is that considered a fast food?" So I have a question for Georgie. Is pizza fast food or not?
Define fast food. I guess this is by your definition, but generally speaking,
Let
good
me rephrase.
question.
Is that a junk food?
Yeah,
this is
definitely junk food.
Oh, I
Do
would
you
have to
think so?
disagree. I
And
think
this is where
plain
the
pizza
stream
is.
begins.
Yeah.
Yes, now we get into it. I
Yeah.
definitely think that pizza is having way too many carbs in it. Just
Oh, but
way too many
if you
carbs.
load it properly with vegetables and all of the umami, like sweet and sour and
Oh,
all of
God,
that,
who's gonna
it
fucking
could
do
be
that?
a whole. I do. I make
Bullshit.
it home at home
Bullshit.
pizza all the time. Yes, and I agree with you. Plain pizza with just the cheese and the sauce and the crust it could be junk food. It's not that good for you, but you can turn pizza into a meal. It's an art. I'd have
Yeah.
to disagree.
Yeah, we make
Yeah.
pizza at home, so it's not covered in like processed cold cuts and stuff, and that we actually do it. Dunk's picture is Starsky.
I'm just like, I love that picture.
but if you make a pizza at home, and maybe you go for like a sort of Alfredo sauce and some chicken on it and stuff, and you go for a lighter, thinner crust and whatnot, you can make a decently healthy pizza. But as Georgie says, you still have a big base of carbs as the main portion of it. You can't get around that really,
True.
unless you do those thin crust pizzas. But I don't like pizza being served on like premium plus crackers. I just don't get that. It's got to be a crust,
If I want to eat pizza, I want my pizza to be like pizza, cheese. Proper, like the one that's stretchy. Like if pizza doesn't stretch, it's shit. It's not pizza. It's like fake.
A lot of cheese, but you can actually alter the crust. Like now you can actually add, instead of like a plain wheat flour, there's so many things you can do. Here in America, they actually make the crust with cauliflower and cheese, to where there's no carbs at all in the crust. And I have made this at home. I'm going to say like cauliflower picks up the flavor of the cheese, so it's not like eating a big giant head of cauliflower. It's not everybody's favorite thing to do, but you can actually make pizza as the thing into something a little more nutritious and beneficial. But I agree, plain pizza with just the cheese. If you ate that too many times a week, Starsky, I'd have to admit, with your friend that you were talking to, and perhaps if she's worried about it, she should start sending you some good home cooked meals to substitute for that pizza. I mean, that could have been a conversation, Starsky. Hopefully you took it that way. Just hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Like, just a little advice from a woman here. If they're talking to you about food, start talking. Like, start talking.
Is it me, or did that sound a little bit like Theseus's ship? Like, if you change all the different parts of the pizza, is it still a pizza?
we're not even going to bring pineapple into this because then I'm out. I'm out. Because Starsky already, like, we're already, like, he already barely talks to me now over the chocolate and coffee issue. Like, we can't
Yeah, and again, it's like calling borscht fast food because I believe, honestly, that calling pizza a fast food is a big insult for Italian cuisine because in Italy it's a national stuff. It's like cappuccino. It's like pizza, you know, and like one traditional Ukrainian stuff is considered a fast food. That's Kievska Porepechka that Georgie mentioned. But yeah, interesting thing about pizza is that, for example, pizza with chicken. We eat chicken, and like hens are like very popular bird, you know, in the rural areas. Like we consume chicken a lot. But one of the chicken, like one of the ancestors of hens, was freaking velociraptor. That was a dangerous animal. It was a predator, a very, very scary one. Not as big as in Jurassic Park, but still. And velociraptors, as far as I remember, they produced even worse creature that was called Phororhocus. Like imagine an ostrich with beak this huge and 3 meters tall, and it can run as fast as a freaking jaguar and kill like everything. And it was an apex predator. Probably, I think it was still alive back then when early humans emerged. So probably it hunted humans as well. And today we're like eating them basically, which is cool.
Yeah, go humanity. Eat everything.
That's a win for us. Yes. Yes.
So
Maybe-
I guess that big chicken was fast, but not fast enough.
Probably one day we will be eating like smaller sharks or something like that.
Oh, this day.
Why did I mention sharks?
I don't know. The dead eyes get me every time.
I was gonna say, you know, we're running out of time, but next week I promise we will do our Shark Week segment. But we didn't get to the oceans and the creepies that live in there this week. It's
I can right
it's
away
a
tell
new
you-
tradition. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I can just right away tell you that I will not be able to join you next week because next week is a Eurovision week. And that is a thing that I cannot skip. That is unfortunate.
Are you singing?
So, huh? No, thankfully. Well, I mean, my wife does have some Thai friends and they have karaoke and they want to come over. So there is
cool.
the chance, but hopefully not.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, but we'll be in touch in the background because we definitely got to get you on, you know, and get you around more often. It's been great fun tonight. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we should
I
just
think
do a karaoke night.
Well, it's been talked about. You know, it actually has. I'll quickly just do our last shout out here. Secular Sakai had donated $1.99 into the super chat there, and it was a cursive teal lettering spelling out yum. Yeah, totally right. I always leave this show so fucking hungry, man. It always happens. But let's get ourselves into wrap up mode here because it's really pushing a bit late for Starsky. So let's start first with Dunk. Dunk, what do you think? You know, a little thought and wrap up for the viewers before we're out of here.
What a show! I mean, when I came on, you know, I thought we had Ryan George in the house. It's some Ukrainian guy called Georgie. Never mind, he'll do. It was great. Starsky is great as ever. You know, always. It's been an interesting show, and my God, did the super chats blow up tonight? The chat was so colourful as it was whizzing past with super chats and some amazing donations. Absolutely freaking amazing. So thank you everybody who donated. Just everybody, not just the big ones, but everybody. Thank you so much, Bella.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's just time for me to. Well, I suppose it's time for me to just say goodnight to Starsky. Really, so I'll just
Sing it for me, baby.
Kiss me goodnight, Captain Starsky. See you next time. Call me big boy. All right. Good night, everybody. Oh, shut up.
Okay, let's turn to Claire. Sorry, you have to follow that.
Actually, kind of in the middle of cracking up. I just want to say thank you again. I enjoyed being part of this show. You kept me very, very busy with the super chats today. Thank you, everyone who did that. It doesn't matter how you're contributing, whether to the conversation, whether out there locally, whether on Twitter or social media, or watching the YouTube channels of both Starsky and Georgie and retweeting them, getting their messages out there. However you're contributing, thank you, because it is important. It's all valued and valuable, and we're grateful for all of it. And thank you, Georgie and Starsky, for a very informative and entertaining show. My sides hurt too, and I'm muting now because I know the rest is going to make me laugh some more, and there's no more spitting on YouTube tonight for me. Okay.
Great stuff. Over to Dave. What do you think, buddy?
It's a crazy stream. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone who's donated. That was mental. I'm not here next week because I'm on a stag in Barcelona. But I just wanted to throw it out there that it is a Eurovision week, and we said basically every stream about how much Starsky loves Eurovision. Do you have any favorites, any winners that you think are going to take the crown?
No idea. Let the best one win.
Good shout. Good shout.
Sweet.
And myself, I want to do the big usual huge thank you to everybody who's been participating and donating and supporting Ukraine. Wow, what a stream that was for support. You guys out there are unbelievable. Big shout out there to CF Beauty running the Shills live chat for us and keeping us up to date in the green room and stuff. And Ali for the research support on the Ukraine show and whatnot as well. We've got a huge thanks to our moderator team. Dear Lord, have we got some absolute people with hammers on the moderating team. Nothing gets past this group. And a huge member, you can push your government. You can get local and regional and country support, and you can give them letters and you can give them phone calls. Make sure they're doing everything they can to support Ukraine, because they're the front line to freedom right now, and we have got to make sure we're doing our part. I want to turn now to Georgie, our guest and absolute most amazing panel member. What do you think, buddy?
I mean, it was a blast. I really had a lot of fun time. Like all these 3 hours just actually went in a blink of an eye. So it was excellent. I really loved the questions, the interactions. It was like it's my first kind of big group stream at all. And I really want to thank everyone that's donated. That is very important to support Ukraine directly. But I want to say to everyone that haven't donated, because I've been in a situation where I didn't have the money or disposable income to do so. Just the fact that you're watching and sharing this stream and liking and just being here and just supporting, writing comments, it also helps. So tap yourself on the back as well. Like the fact that maybe you couldn't donate is still valid. Just be here, support Ukraine. Slava Ukraini. I guess we'll see each other next time.
Merciless peasant
Georgie,
scum. Oh, sorry,
Georgie. Maybe this is the point where you do the thing that Dick doesn't like to do. Say like, share, subscribe.
I mean, that's what I just implied. So if you don't subscribe,
I don't mean
or
imply
like,
it. I mean
or
say
share,
it.
what the fuck are you doing with this stream? Like, that's your job. You're the viewers. It's like, thank you so much for donors, but don't forget the basics of YouTube. Those are important for the channel. You want more people next time? You want more donors, more support for Ukraine? Do your job. Support Ukraine.
Yeah,
love you all.
Dick.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dick, do your job.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that flag, I'm just a little too Canadian at times to do the whole please like, share, and subscribe. It doesn't come out of my mouth very well. But as per our, here, we've got one shout out we can do before I turn it to the man, the captain himself. Secular Sakai had thrown in a $10 super chat there. Had to break the rules and add a little more for the Boom Boom Fund. Last minute, big, huge smiley face. Victory to Ukraine. Love you, Secular Sakai. Awesome, awesome. And on that note, we turn it over to...
Before you turn it over to Starsky, can I just point out there's a bit of flag envy going on here. Can we buy Starsky a bigger flag to put behind him?
I have a bigger one, actually.
Oh, don't we all, big boy? He doesn't.
Well,
he doesn't need to make it bigger. It just needs to put it closer to the camera.
Yeah. Hang it off your ear like an earring, and then it'll look really big. But yeah, let's turn it to the captain himself, Operator Starsky, for the last words of the night.
Thank you so much for your support. Again, we appreciate your donations, and we appreciate your support of Ukrainians, of Ukrainian defenders. On this note, I would like to spoil this show a bit, because the air alert in Ukraine continues for almost 4 hours, as far as I can understand. And we know that there were launches from the Black Sea, as well as the aviation. So Tu-22 bombers and Russian ships fired cruise missiles at Ukrainian cities. We have reports from the Mykolaiv chief of the administration. He said that several explosions were reported near Mykolaiv. Also, there were explosions reported in Odessa, Kherson, Dnipro. And there is a missile threat near Kryvyi Rih, so people are called to go to shelters. As for Kiev, I heard several explosions as well. Obviously, our anti-air defense is active, and we also know that together with the missiles, the Shahed drones are used again. There are several low-speed targets. I think that they will be intercepted, because all the recent attacks using Shaheds were not successful at all. But again, we can see that Russians are trying to obviously find our anti-air defense systems. Obviously, they were mad because of the Patriot anti-air systems. So that's what we see now. That's what we see now. Let's pray for our people. Those who pray, those who don't, just wish us luck, and I hope everything will be okay.
Wow.
Yeah, stay safe, brother.
Yeah. So for all yous out there that are really paying attention, keep up on the news for the next little bit, and let's hope the news is clear and good. Once again, we want to say a big thanks to everybody supporting the channel. And from all of us here on the panel, let's all just say a good night and bid our adieu. Take care, everybody. Slava Ukraini.
Slava Ukraini.
Slava Ukraini.
Slava Ukraini. Stay safe.
Love y'all.
It's over. Go home. Go.